Hey everybody, this is Hermela. I'm here with Team No More with Sheikh Abdi, Simon, Nebiyu, and Dr. Hashi. Today we're representing the Horn of Africa with a special spotlight on Somalia. There's been a lot of new developments in Somalia, and we want to get a better understanding of what's going on there and how we can all better participate in the social media campaigns to support the people of Somalia. So we're going to start with Dr. Hashi to give us sort of big picture what just happened. Yesterday we saw a tweet from one of the State Department's bureaus, and then we saw people like you and Sheikh Abdi sharing some feedback, and you reached out and we were able to mobilize Team No More and really push back on that narrative and give the people a sense of what was going on immediately. So No More was trending. We'll get some numbers on that in just a bit. But Dr. Hashi, why don't you give us sort of like a background for those who don't fully understand the dynamics of the politics in Somalia? What is really going on at the moment?
Yes, thank you, Hermela, and hi, everybody. What was going on was initially there was a spat between the prime minister and the president due to prime minister being suspended. So what happened was the Navy general accused the prime minister of grabbing the Navy land, and the entire military went about to constitute a court to look into the case and launched an investigation to actually verify if these allegations are true, and they reprimanded the general. What happened was the prime minister immediately went on to an action and tried to change the two ministries. He tried to do a mini reshuffle to bring to the Ministry of Defense a puppet friend of his so that he could tamper or stop this investigation into his land grabbing. So apparently he grabbed huge land and he was accused of huge corruption cases. And apparently what happened was that to hide that, he made changes unilaterally, and he can't do that because the constitution in Somalia entails that any changes supposed to be done through the president, and also the prime minister has to consult before he makes those changes. So the president now looking at that, and he suspended the prime minister until investigations end, so that he doesn't tamper on these things. He stopped the changes. So once those changes were stopped and this guy went about on this, that's when you see the entire as reported by 52 or 62 news channels, that the prime minister was suspended due to corruption until those corruption, and that's the law it entails in Somalia, that any leader that is found to be corruption or investigated has to step aside, allow investigations happen, and then afterwards, if he's found guilty, he's being taken to court, or he's not found guilty, or the allegations are refuted, he can come back and continue his work. So the prime minister and his crew they stormed the offices, and now you saw what you call the all over, as if it was an orchestrated message by the West, all of a sudden trying to side with corruption now, for the first time in Africa. Actually, they side always with corruption. They support corrupt leaders and all this. So they sided with corruption, and that's what now brought out about Somali people and the anger, because Somalis are tired of the 30-year-old corruption and leaders misusing the resources, the little mega resources that the government of the people have, because it's in dire need. And that is now why you see the uproar, because they are trying to now fight with corruption, and they don't know, because they have an issue, an agenda with this administration for curtailing their influences. So they're using to prop and stage a coup, a internal coup using the prime minister now. Yeah, so that's what's happening up to date.
So I want to summarize it for those that is new, if it's new for them, and you just stop me if I get any of it wrong. So the prime minister in Somalia is Rubel. He's the one sort of behind the scenes. The president is Farmajo. He's the one that we see with Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia and President Isaias Afwerki of Eritrea. And you're saying the prime minister Rubel tried to grab some Navy land. A general called that out. The prime minister tried to retaliate to that general, as well as retaliate by trying to rig the elections. Farmajo responded to that by suspending him, and now there's an investigation, a corruption investigation against the prime minister. The West steps in and is now backing the prime minister because Farmajo has proven to be sort of a wall along with Ahmed and Afwerki in terms of the West's intervention. Is that correct?
Definitely, yes. That's actually what it is. And if you look at it, because it's the corruption cases that he's trying to run away from, and all of a sudden people are trying to make it's about elections, which is not about the election. The prime minister was elected when everything was done for the elections. He was given 14 months ago the election, and he's done nothing up to now. He's not moved the elections forward. So he tried to manipulate and interfere and scuttle just to prolong his stay in power, because he had 4 months and he got almost 1 year. So 1 year and 4 months already down the line, he has done nothing. So what happened was that during this time, he is accused of grabbing land, engaging in much corrupt cases and all this. So to investigate these cases, investigations were launched. To tamper with those investigations, he tried to make a mini reshuffle of the cabinet, and just so that he tampers with that. So what the initial spark that started from this was the president protecting the sanctity of the constitution of Somalia and good governance in terms of zero tolerance to corruption, that he has actually played by the book, because Somalia was the first country to prosecute senior ministerial officials for COVID-19 funds. So this government has been very strict on corruption, and they do not take it very seriously, and that is why now it's trying to achieve that. But the thing was that now why everybody was shocked was, why will the West support this corruption, or why will they try to side with the Roble and try to insinuate that Farmajo is the one that is trying to interfere with the election and all that? So that's the point here.
So I have a hypothesis about that. So is the West supporting Rubel because he's now anti or having an issue with Farmajo, and they're not getting what they want?
Yes, they will do anything, because they will do anything that will curtail the Somali renaissance that's coming up.
Right.
There's a revolution coming up in terms of Somali people are woken up and they understand actually what's happening. And thanks to social media, now they are holding people accountable. They're holding yes, they're holding.
And I want you to go into sort of the division among the people in just a minute. I just wanted to sort of solidify the West tapping into a division and a clash and going against President Farmajo. I want to go to Sheikh Abdi for a little bit. There are a few key things that have happened. They actually sound major to me in terms of the implications in Somalia that may not be favorable to the West, and that may be why there's another reason why there's a focus on Somalia. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Thank you very much, Hermali. Since the beginning of this administration, before Farmajo came in power, we have 4.5 clans in our constitution, which is 5 different tribes. And before Farmajo, the international community were number 6. Everybody used to call them Besh al-Lihad in Somali language, which is the 6th clan. This man eliminated the Western or foreign interference into our politics. He said, I want political independence. I want everything to be solved by Somalis. If we have a problem, we will solve from within. There are also major things that took place in his term. Before he came, the air of Somalia was in Kenya for many, many years. So he moved the aviation control from Kenya to Somalia. And the Westerns were against it. They were saying, you don't have the resources, you don't have what it takes to capacity, yara. And he said, no, we have everything. He brought it. And now Somalia controls it. Is the entire air of Somalia is controlled from Mogadishu. And they are well equipped and well knowledgeable people there. That was one thing that he started with his second year or before the beginning of third year. In this past year, Farmajo insisted to stop and end AMISOM to stay as AMISOM as they are under Security Council anymore. He said we need to put together security transfer plan that Somalia will lead to be in charge of its security. And it came into this month, 30th of this month, which is in few days. The AMISOM to be in charge of the security control of Somalia is done. And this all made a lot of countries angry. Lately, he got Climate Regulation Center. That is the biggest climate regulation center will be opened in Mogadishu. 2 weeks ago, it was opened. And that was competed by many countries that will piss off some people. It will make some people angry. Also, there was a terminal. You can't believe this one if I tell you. Everybody will be like, what? There was a terminal that was unchecked, completely open to UN and the AMISOM. No security from the hosting country, Somalia, is in charge of what is coming in and what is coming out of Somalia. That's why many times that terminal was accused of harboring criminal or illegal activities. Some people accuse them of organ harvesting. Many kids being stolen from Mogadishu, many kids. Nobody found them dead or alive. And a couple of times there were two guys captured trying to steal a little girl. And when they were investigated and interrogated, they said they were going to take this child to somebody at the airport and they will be given $300. Some of them, they said even $200. Like 3, 4, 5 issues. I don't remember all of them right now, but that was absolutely believed that Halane, which is the compound that UN and all these international communities, many embassies are located in, and they had that terminal closed last week. It's called MoveCon. And this irritated and enraged many, including the US, UK, Norway, Denmark, all of them, they came against the president when he suspended his prime minister due to corruption. And they tried to manipulate and change and twist the message. But fortunately, because of no more campaign, no more movement, and Somali youth active social media engagement caused the news channels in the world to report the truth this time. They reported 62 plus channels reported that the prime minister was investigated on corruption case, and none, you cannot meddle into and go into the investigation that's investigating yourself. So there was a conflict of interest when he switched to ministers. So these are all happening in Somalia. So they don't like, to begin with, they don't like this guy because he's pro-Somalia. pro-Horn of Africa. He says sometimes loudly, African problems for African solutions. And this gets them into the stomach. They don't like it. So he's doing everything right, and the country is moving forward. The army is being built really well. And one of the things that enraged England was they said the limit of the army, Somali army, supposed to be 18,000. They are just telling him a limit. So he deleted that from the message, and he made it, instead of up to 18,000, he made it minimum 18,000. And that irritated them, and they made them really angry. So now the UK is like wild card in Somali politics, running into internal affairs. Ambassador running into internal affairs, going into the prime minister's office, going into governor's office, flying into the towns and cities of Somalia to meddle the election, to meddle everything. Now they are all agree. They have one thing to agree: Farmaajo out. They will use every corrupted politician, and once they find you compromised, they will support you. And that's what's happening. We support Roble. Roble is just being accused of corruption. How can you support a corruptionist when a corruption is something bad in the West? Oh, is it good for Africa and it's not good? This double standard and hypocrisy. So that's what's going on lately.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's just part of the same pattern, right? Which is what we're trying to do with No More. Even if you don't know all the ins and outs of one country, once you start to see how the West plays into the politics of the country, then it will help you decide sort of what side to stand on. So, Sheikh Abdi, you talked about an issue where Somalia wants to control some of its resources, its security with Amazon, as well as MoveCon, which is a special terminal for the UN, which goes unchecked, which is mind-blowing, but it's hard to surprise me these days. So I'm not so surprised. So that's sort of the kind of things that's provoking the West, and they're using ruble to be able to get back in there and have some more control. Great. So Simon, I want to go to you. Like we said, hashtag No More was trending, although you no longer are on Twitter with us. You did get some data from someone. About how No More was trending. So I want you to go over that a little bit and work into the way No More can play in times like these. And then we'll go to Nebiyu to build on that and give us a broader picture on the No More efforts.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I was banned from Twitter. And so I am lucky enough to have a large group of friends that keep me up to date, and, I have my ears to the ground. So what I was able to find out regarding this No More movement when it comes to what just transpired yesterday in regards to Somalia was we had No More, people started talking about it first, bringing some awareness to it. Hermela, yourself, Sheikh Abdi, Dr. Hashi, Nebiyu, everyone. Use the hashtag No More, and then added actually Nebiyu might be off, but others were tweeting on his behalf. But the point is that the hashtag No More and Somalia were used together, hands off Somalia and other things. And so what we saw is that around the world, actually, and in Somalia, you had the hashtag No More and Somalia trending. There were, in at least Somalia itself, 244,000 tweets of No More, and then 12,000 tweets of Somalia. What No More is you can think of it as sort of like this digital roaming army of peace, basically, where people who want peace for an African country or any country that's being targeted at the moment, you use the hashtag No More. If it's in Francophone Africa, maybe it'll be Pas Plus, which is the translation of No More into French. But the point is that we can mobilize people to defend countries that are under fire. And so this was very much the case. I think everyone yesterday felt Somali's struggle, what was going on, and the threat. It was so militant and so brazen and so out there when they were saying, we're going to take action against Somalia. Who do you think you are? you know, this is someone who was fired by the president, and you're going to say that you're going to be the one to choose whether this person should be fired or not. That's none of your damn business. So I think, you know, for the people of Eritrea, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Somalia, all of us, we have to stand together and stand united. And that background, that beautiful background that I see all you have, I saw it trending on Twitter. And that's the kind of unity that we need. That's the power of No More. Whenever any one of us is attacked, we all defend each other. And it was trending worldwide. I'll tell you that too. That's another thing. It was trending all around the world, not just in Somalia. So people saw it trending, and there are even tweets of this. So I can say proudly that everybody was a Somali yesterday and today until they, you know, for forever we want to be. Actually, I got my Somali flag here too. So to rep, here we go, rep in Somalia. And what's the term? Somali ban ahai.
Oh, nice, you remember. We are all Somalia. Yeah, so I think, you know, that's the power of it all. If you're standing alone every time something happens to one country, then they're like, whatever, no one's really listening to them. But if you have sort of this army of No More folks in that region and elsewhere, you know, that can kind of recognize the patterns and jump in to defend that country's sovereignty and right to handle its business. I think that is hugely impactful. I know, Nebi, you've had a long day talking to folks in South Africa and Zimbabwe, people that are a part of and want to be a part of the No More movement. So talk a little bit about how this all works, why it works, and what we're looking to do just sort of as we build moving forward.
Yeah, thanks, Hermela. And like Simon, I'm also off of Twitter. Look, the days of interfering in African politics and African internal issues with impunity are over. Those days are long gone. And that is what No More is doing. Like you mentioned today, you know, spent the day speaking with, you know, folks in South Africa, from Zimbabwe, Ghana. I mean, this is going all over Africa. Africa is awakening. It is no longer Somali issue to Somalis. A Somali issue is an Ethiopian issue now. An Ethiopian issue is a Nigerian issue. Nigerian issue is a South African issue. We are all on this boat together. Our destinies are intertwined, and the divide and conquer, dividing us by tribe, by clan, even by nationality, those days are gone. We're talking about the new Africa, where we have decided to take our own faith, decide our own faith, and take our own destiny into our own hand. So, you know, coming back into the situation in Somalia, the US-led Western hybrid warfare on Ethiopia failed to overthrow, to regime change Ethiopia's democratically elected and legitimate government through their TPLF terrorist proxies. The Horn Africa came together and said no more. And it looks like now the Biden administration is actively meddling in yet another Horn of African countries' domestic political affairs by actively backing one side over the other, just like what they did in Ethiopia. In Somalia, it looks like you have two parties. One is the legitimate leader, the president, and the other is a prime minister with alleged corruption charges that is trying to undermine Somalia's president, and has even gone as far as demanding that security services take orders from him. So what is this? This is, at the end of the day, this is Somali's internal affairs, right? What business of this is this for the Biden administration? You know, like what Simon said, Somalis are more than capable of resolving their own issues, their own internal conflict. If this is a conflict, this is not the United States supporting those that are attempting to seize power from its internationally recognized government during such a sensitive time. This is no longer acceptable. And it must be clearly understood for the Biden administration that Somalis, this is a Somali issue, and the Somalis are capable of handling it. And so when is enough enough? It is now. And this is a call for action for all Africans, for all Ethiopians, for all Eritreans, for all our brothers and sisters in Uganda and Tanzania and Zimbabwe, throughout all of Africa, south, west, east, north. It is once again time, just like how you stood up together for Ethiopia and said that the war on Ethiopia is the war on Africa. It is now time to say the war on Somalia is the war on Africa. This is it. I just want to encourage, there's 1.3 billion Africans. United, we cannot be defeated. So let's resist, unite, and just push through. Let's stand up. Let's stand with our brothers and sisters in Somalia, and we're all in this together. This is our issue too.
Amazing, well said. Yes, so there's a trend of leadership in the Horn of Africa. I'm trying not to say it this way, making the West mad because they are pushing back at the West and want to do things differently than has been done in the past. That's where this tri-partnership with Somalia, Eritrea, and Ethiopia continues to grow. Abiy for some time was favored by the West, but that may be because they got the sense that he would play ball, and then when they realized he wouldn't, he became an enemy of the world, right? So that's one way they interfere. They demonize the leader. They work with the opposition of that leader, and this is just Somalia's reiteration. And it seems like Somalia was not the centered target for some time. We've been talking about how to better work together to highlight Somalia, and the time came, right? Because they couldn't work through Ethiopia and Eritrea, and it just makes sense that Somalia is the next target. So one other way that is also a tool, I would say, of imperialism is dividing the people. And often in Africa, it comes in the form of tribes or clans, which in some ways are constructed, although they might be based in something. So I want to go to Dr. Hashi to talk about that parallel in Somalia and what it looks like there.
Yes. In terms of division and all that, Somalia has been divided into clans, and this is something the colonial masters have brought, and they have exacerbated it and used it very well into what they wanted to achieve. And finally, they used the same clan system to destroy Somalia in the last 30 years ago, and they're doing it again. TPLF brought in a clan system-based system that is based on interlocking on each other and division on along lines. They created a lot of federalism based on clan and all this division. So Somalis were never meant to be united. And this government, what they did was they looked at it for the common denominator. What is the common denominator? And let's build from there. There are a lot of young Somali people, that are well educated, that are pushing back from all clans. They don't care about clans. They know this clan, all these things are a division to divide them along the steps. And now we see what's happening is that these corrupt leaders are retreating back into the clan. They steal, the clan defends them. They kill, the clan defends them. They rape, the clan defends them. So the West have manipulated that angle, especially the UK. The UK lady has been everywhere interfering in the Somali affairs, trying to ramp up a regime change, a soft coup in terms of trying to wipe out the whip, clan emotions using social media and all these things, paid people that are talking about nothing but clan. They don't have any agenda. They're just talking about division, nothing else. So they come to these platforms and they give legitimacy to these platforms and all these things. If you talk about unity in Twitter, you talk about better good. If you just talk about anything positive about Somalia today, you are branded a troll, a paid troll, all these things. They delegitimize you. And it happened to us, most of us. We've seen how it doesn't phase us, but the thing is that there are more patriotic young Somali people are actually that in the diaspora that are actually moving the change. They are held. The president himself, if he goes in a certain way, These people hold him accountable. He knows it. He feels it. They are the nerve center. They've held people that got away with everything, murder, rape, corruption, for the last 30 years. Have been finding themselves. For 60 years, Somali voices were never heard. Somali leaders got away with everything in terms of settling in. You know, let's look for the, what do they say? This is not the solution, but it is just for the peace. You know what I mean? So that attitude has emboldened very staggering and all these things. And now they're finding a huge pushback from young, educated Somali people who have been and have seen the world. And they're saying, no more. We don't want this no more. This is Somali, they've owned the normal, because everybody to the normal means that this thing, you know what I mean? The divisions, the constant pillaging of the resources, the constant poverty and all those things, they say no more. We just want a prosperous nation. Why not live peacefully with our brothers and sisters around the region? Why can't we coexist instead of, why do we have to die together while we can live together and prosper together? So that's the message now we're trying to bring out. And this is what we're trying to do. So what the West now they see is that a Somalia that is turning the page faster than it should. We are rising higher than we're supposed to do. So now what's remaining for Somalia is just to fix its politics. It has fixed everything else. Just fix the constitution, and that's it. Entire country settles down. They have fixed up everything and all that, and they're going at a higher speed than they were not supposed to think or were supposed to be doing. Now the UK has played a very decisive policy in Somalia, because Somalia refused their soldiers to come into. This government refused, Formaggio refused 250 soldiers they were bringing to fight terrorism. You know what I mean? To help Somalia fight terrorism, train. So this kind of issues are exacerbating why they are siding with this, because she immediately encouraged the robbery and the division and all these things, because she benefits from that. And how she benefits from is to see that this is collapsing. The right is collapsing. All these things that finally they're being taken out, it remains. For Somali people are awake. They have refused to be played as pawns. They have refused to be their future and their nation to be pillaged by few greedy mercenaries that are front phasers for these people. So it is a huge pushback, huge coming out in terms of that. That's why now you're seeing leaders are being held accountable. People are they're asking the Prime Minister, if you are innocent, allow the investigation, step aside. If they find you innocent, you will come back and do your work. It doesn't take more than a month or a week. Just don't interfere with the investigation. Allow the justice to be solved. If you are corrupt, please, the law, nobody's above the law. Nobody should be above the law. So for Somalia to be a statehood, everybody's supposed to be the statehood. So that's what I'm saying, is that they know the clan is the support base. So they run to the clan. If I kill today, I'm going to run to my clan, and nobody's going to do anything. That culture is what is being fought. And they have manifested that culture, the West, and especially the UK is trying to play that culture now, the clan of division, of all these things. So what's going to happen is that either the rule of law will definitely be above, and you're trying to use that in terms of to get rid of the president, to create this guy is bad for us. If he's bad for you guys, there is an election coming, he will win. If he loses, just like the other guy, he will go out. Another guy will come in. But I'm assuring them that even if Formaggio does not come back, there is another guy that comes back. He's going to be in the same footstep, because the Somali people will not allow any president to act like before. They're not going back. So it's up to them to see how they fix it.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to highlight two things that you said: the ethnic division or the clan division, however you want to call it, same tools in Ethiopia that are causing so much heartache and messes. And I just want to remind everybody that one way you can help, if you're not, there, or if you don't have certain positions, is to participate in the conversation on social media. I've already taken some tweets from Dr. Hashi and Sheikh Abdi and a couple of folks that seem credible and connected, and put it on linktree.com/Horn of Africa Hub. I would love to work with you guys and to get more. I just didn't want to put stuff on there that I couldn't really trust. So I encourage everyone to continue. It's so easy to use it. Linktree.com/Horn of Africa Hub, 3 clicks and a tweet. You don't have to come up with it. You don't have to worry about that this is good information or not. These are trusted sources. Let's just get through one layer, which is get Western interference out of these spaces. It doesn't mean there aren't other issues that are to be solved. It's just that is definitely not going to or having Western interference is definitely not going to get those issues solved. So I think that's it. If anyone has last word to throw in, this is your time. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up and see everybody, some of us on Twitter.
I will say a word. Somali youth, Somali people, please join No More movement wherever you are. Join, buy those 3 flags, hang them all. Keep them all. We are united, and united we stand. Divided, they will have a chance to manipulate. So have all the 3 flags. Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. You will be adopted by all 3 countries. All these 3 countries will.
And Simon has to come back here.
So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everybody join the move.
And is it Somali Banhai? Banahai?
Yes, thank you very much.
Somali Banahai.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. Power to the people. All right. Thank you guys so much. And thank you everybody for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.